Ladies and gentlemen, all across the globe, welcome to Entrepreneurs by Design with your wonderful host today, Miss Alberta McKinney. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce her very quickly, ladies and gentlemen. The focus of Entrepreneurs by Design is to display business opportunities for wealth creation. Having additional income streams and building a network is the doorway to wealth. Your wealth vision has to be greater than just doing all the work. Look at it this way. Amazon is the network of people working to get products out to their consumers. It is the shareholders with shares of Amazon stock that reap the benefits of the labor force. You have to create your own team labor force. It takes about 8 different streams of income, and you well on your way to building your generational wealth. Alberta, ladies and gentlemen, has dedicated the last 21 years working in the real estate industry. As a dedicated investor, agent, leader in the real estate industry, she has a vast array of knowledge of the industry. Committing to a vision requires being it for the long haul. It does not matter if it is the good times or challenging times. The commitment remains the same. She is thankful for what is the challenging times have taught her. Promoting home ownership and training others and developing the real estate investment business has always been her goal. With the goal in mind, it requires her to always sharpen her skill set. Ladies and gentlemen across the globe, I introduce to some and present to others, businesswoman Alberta McKinney.
Hello, and I thank you so much for that wonderful introduction, Kevin. We're glad to be here, and we welcome everybody that's here nationally, locally, and internationally to our first Entrepreneurs by Design launch show. And we're all excited about it, and we're sure you are going to be excited also. Now, we do have our guests that are here today, and they are Jeff and Angela Cruikshank, and they are national and international serial entrepreneurs that they've been able to impact the professional and personal lives of millions around the world. They understand the importance of family legacy, generational wealth, and excellence. Now, Angela is also the president of Transformation Inc., an international image consultant and training firm leading the charge to help individuals excel in their chosen careers or businesses. Founder of Mom on a Mission and owner of Boutique Rain, she absolutely has the heart to empower individuals to become financially literate and tap into their entrepreneurial side. Now, Jeff has worked over 26 years in the corporate travel sector for one of the biggest corporations in the United States, training individuals on corporate leadership and operating in the spirit of excellence. Now, Jeff has been a serial entrepreneur for over 30 years, owning and operating several startup companies from restaurants, import, export, to most recently landing the top 1% of income earners in network marketing over the last 5 years. Jeff's goal is to impact and educate men all around the globe on how to live outside the box and create multiple streams of income. Now, they fit right into the model of what Entrepreneurs by Design is all about. And we are here to help those that are creating new visions, creating additional visions for that income stream to open the doorway to wealth. I introduce to you Jeff and Angela Cruikshank.
Awesome. Well, hello, everybody. Hello, Alberta. Thank you so much for that incredible introduction. The check is in the mail.
Absolutely.
There you go.
And we're so excited to be here on this platform. You know, Jeff and I really, truly have a heart to really see people, in particular God's people, advance in entrepreneurship, as we've been given the platform to help so many to do that because somebody gave us the platform as well.
Absolutely, and then we don't take it lightly, just being able to share on this platform. I think it's the beginning of great things to come. So we really appreciate the opportunity.
You are so welcome. You are so welcome, which I'm sure by the time you finish, our listeners will be thanking you also. And just so you know, we have about 150,000 listeners nationally and internationally that's waiting for your presentation.
Absolutely. Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. And again, like you said, when you gave us the call to be on this platform to share with individuals that were of like mind, some information that could possibly change their financial blueprint and bring them to a place where they can see success happen in their life, different from what we've been taught. My family, I come from a generation where they taught us to go to school to get a good education so we could get a good job with benefits and live the American dream. And I did that for many years. Both Jeff and I worked in a corporate space. For me, 20 plus years. For him,
over 26.
Over 26 years. Wow. And the goal that they told us was to work hard so that we can retire and have a pension, right? And we recognized that that system was flawed. When we looked around and we saw all of the people that we aspired to be, they weren't doing what we were doing. They weren't working jobs sitting behind a computer or in a cubicle or in a desk. They were out living life. Their children went to the best schools, their families took the best vacations, and they, lived life on their own terms. And we knew something was off with that. And so we were really searching for an opportunity to figure out how were they doing that? How were they actually living this kind of lifestyle and doing the things that they desired to do when they're telling us to go to school, get a good education, and work a job for 40 hours a week for 40 years. And when we got this information that we're going to share with you, and just to give you a little background, like you said, we've been in the entrepreneurial space for some time, but this particular information that we're going to share with individuals today, for us, over the last almost 5 years, we have seen so many families like ourselves literally transform their entire financial blueprint simply because they got access to this information.
Wonderful, wonderful. I am so glad that you are part of the launch, because to start with such information that's going to change lives, I'm excited about it because we're in a time of change. So come on, Angela, bring it.
Awesome. Well, I'm gonna share my screen here because one of the things, Alberta, that I recognize is that a lot of times we're just not educated on actually how money's actually earned, right? As I said, we've been systematically programmed to believe, and especially, and I know we got viewers from all around the world on here, probably many different demographics and nationalities and such, but people that look like you and I, we have not been educated on how money's really earned. We were taught, like I said, to go the traditional route. But when you really understand how money's earned, you start to think outside the box. So I'm going to just share my screen here so you can kind of see some information that will kind of, pull it all together. So give me a second. Let me do that. Pull it all together so it kind of gives you a visual. And there's a gentleman that some of you may have heard of by the name of Robert Kiyosaki, and he talks about the rich dad, poor dad, but he also talks about the cash flow quadrant, which talks about there's only 4 ways that people earn income. Now, if you look at this chart, 95% of us actually earn income from these 2 particular ways, where we work for someone, which is the employee side, and or we're self-employed, which is many of us who say we don't want to work for anybody. So we usually go out and we become self-employed, the barbers, the beauticians, the people who cut your lawn and things of that nature. However, that's not a very safe place to be, because let's just look at what took place last year. How many of us really knew that we were not going to have a job? Some of us were working on jobs for 25 years, 20 years, and all of a sudden, just like that, it was gone, right? And then we had individuals who said, well, because they didn't want to work for someone, they became self-employed. And just like that, their income was dissolved overnight. So our goal was to find something where we can have people fall into the 5%, where they actually control 95% of the market, which are business owners and investors. And so my goal is simple, is to move you from this side of the pie, where if you're falling that 95 percentile, where you've been taught that the only way you can earn income is by working for someone or being self-employed, is to move you over to this side where you allow your money to work for you, right? So how do we do that? Because here's what I recognize, and I'm a traditional business owner. I have multiple different businesses, but I recognize that we don't understand when we talk about business. A lot of times we think having a business means that I got to go open up the store, brick and mortar business. And typically most of us don't have, $25,000, $30,000 to go open up a physical location for a business. But there's many ways of having a business. One of the business I have is a home-based business where I'm sitting behind a computer, in particular Zoom, to be quite frankly with you, Alberta, for the last almost 5 years. Some people didn't even know what Zoom was until the pandemic hit. But I've been doing this for the last almost 5 years because somebody shared with me that I could sit in my living room and actually make just as much money as I would with my traditional business, because I got access to the internet that brings that whole world into my living room, and I can make a lot of income from that, right? And so being a business owner is really where you can walk away from the business and the business can still make money. If you have to be there for the business to run, then you don't really own that business. That business owns you. You literally become a slave to that business. And let's look at what, again, last year, those individuals who probably owned a business, unless it was an essential business, their business dollars went down to zero. And if they were the one who was physically working a business, well, we already know what happened there. But what we want people to understand is it doesn't have to be that cut, that boxed in way of having a business. And then the second side is to be an investor. Only 1% of the population even invests. And it's simply because we don't know how. We don't know how. When we think about being an investor, the first thing we think is, well, I need a lot of money. But what if I told you that it's not about the money, it's about the access to the information? Give you a little insight as to how my husband and I ended up here. In 2016, we got a phone call from a very wealthy man. And he said to my husband and I, guys, I want you to take a trip with me. Now, I'll be honest with you, we didn't know where we were going. He lives in Houston, Texas. We thought we were going to Houston, Texas, and he asked us, do we have passports? Long story short, we ended up in Dubai. We're in Dubai and we're sitting amongst, in Dubai. And I gotta be honest with you, at first we were thinking, well, we can't go there because you need a lot of money to go to Dubai. I don't know if anybody on here has been to Dubai, but it's opulence at a different level, right? And so we're thinking we can't go there. So we start making excuses. And we're like, well, we don't have babysitters. We don't know if we can make it. But he said, it's an all paid expense trip. You're either coming or you're not coming. Alberta, we were on a flight to Dubai that following Monday. By the way, it was on a Friday he called us. We get to Dubai and we're sitting in a room with 45 individuals, of which none of them look like you or me or my husband. By the way, there were no other women with the exception of a couple that actually went with us. And I'll never forget sitting next to a gentleman from Italy, and he asked me, what do I do? And I'm so proud to tell him, I'm an entrepreneur. I own a barbershop and this and that and blah, blah, blah. And he turns around and he laughs in my face and he says, that's cute, but that's not how wealthy people make their money. And I got a conscious interrupt in that moment. Because this is a man who doesn't know me. I'm talking about 18 years of business, and he's telling me what I'm doing is a joke. And at first I was so offended, but then, quite honest with you, the Holy Spirit said, don't be offended, just listen. See, a lot of times we will allow offense to stop us from our destiny. He was going to share information with me that could change my entire life, but because I was about to be offended, I almost shut him completely out. And he started talking about the investment side. And here I am, educated woman, all the degrees, all these boards I sit on, all these businesses, and I have no idea what he's talking about. I come back to South Florida, my husband and I, and we start talking to all our friends and family. And we're like, have you heard about how to invest in this space? And they're like, no, what is that? They had no clue. And we recognized in that moment that these guys that we were seeing in Dubai, it wasn't that they were smarter than us. It wasn't that they were white or Italian or that they were male. The only reason why these guys, some of them were making millions of dollars a year, a month, some in one day, was because they got access to information that nobody taught us. That's the only difference.
Wow.
So I recognize in that moment that the only difference between those of us who sat on the 95% that only control 5% of the market and those of us who are on the 5% that control 95% of the market, the only difference between those two, which we consider the rich and wealthy, and those who might be poor or broke or struggling. It's not age, it's not color, it's not creed. It is the access to the information that you were given, why you are where you are right now. If you change that information and you apply it, your whole entire financial blueprint can change. How do we know? Because we were there. So I'm going to share, how you can be an investor. How can you tap into this space? And what is this space? Because some of you on this call, I guarantee you probably heard of it, but you don't quite really know exactly what it is. So we've tapped into one of the largest financial markets known as the foreign exchange market. Now, most people, when they hear the word foreign exchange or trading, they automatically assume we're talking about stocks. But can I tell you, the stock market is, if I could compare it, it is literally the peanuts to the elephant. The foreign exchange market is the elephant. The stock market is the peanuts that the elephant eats. So the stock market only does $22 billion a day. The foreign exchange market, ladies and gentlemen, does $6.6 trillion every single day. So we're talking about big boy, big girl stuff. Up until 10 years ago, the only people that could invest in the foreign exchange market were banks, hedge funds, and government institutions. Individuals like you and I, Alberta, we could not walk into a hedge fund with $50 or $100 and say, hey, I want to trade in the foreign exchange market. They would actually laugh you out of there, because for a hedge fund to even entertain you, you had to have at least $3 million for them to even give you an appointment. Now, the reality of it is most of us don't have $3 million sitting in the bank. So we would never have access to something like this. But can I tell you, the rules of money have changed? The rules of money have changed, and we got access to it. So that's why we continue to share this information, because we know if we can get it into the hands of our people and people who want to learn how to do it, then their life can completely change. And so what is the foreign exchange market? It's very simple. It is the buying and selling of currencies. Now, some of you might not understand this, and that's fine, but here's what I could tell you. You're already participating in this, whether or not you like it. And I know some of you are saying, well, no, I'm not. Just because you don't know does not mean that it's not happening right in front of your eyes. A perfect example. Guys, if you have money in a bank right now, what do you think the banks are doing with your money? Do you think it's just sitting in the bank waiting for you to retrieve it? Your money's not even there. They're taking your money, they're investing in the foreign exchange market, making 2%, 10%, 300%, 3,000%. And you keep doing it because you've been systematically programmed to do that. They teach you how to do that. That's a paradigm. Get your money, put a 401k, put it in the bank, and hope you gain interest. When I recognized that was just such a, it was just so backwards. I have a 15-year-old and a 12-year-old in my house. And we taught them, like, we got to go open up bank accounts. Now, today, guess what we taught them? Have broker accounts. Because it's different. It's a completely different mindset, right? Inside this market, we have the digital currency space. Some of you have heard about Bitcoin. Now, people tend to shy away from things that they don't know. Here's a reality. What we're talking about, it's not hard, it's just new. Anything new that you don't understand, you tend to shy away from. But it's just about getting educated on the information. Digital currency, people have heard about Bitcoin, and they're afraid because they don't know. We have a platform that's teaching everyday average person how to tap into the digital currency space. And Bitcoin, quite honestly, is only one of 5,000 different cryptocurrencies. So people only know about Bitcoin, but if you know about cryptocurrencies, all the other smaller cryptocurrencies follow the path of a Bitcoin. So you can get, some of the cryptocurrencies at 13 cents, at, 20 cents. You don't need to have $30,000, $40,000, even with Bitcoin, which I think it's right now at about 42,000 or something like that. People are thinking, well, I don't have that. You can buy pieces of Bitcoin known as Satoshis for $50, $100. So the goal is to just get you invested, put you in a position that you understand that this can actually multiply. So many people don't understand that, and they'll take $50 and they'll go buy a meal, or they'll go buy a pair of shoes, and they could take it and put it into something like this. And in a year, 6 months, a couple of weeks, depending on what that market does, it could be 10 times, 100 times the amount. So a lot of us don't understand it, so we shy away from it. We also have our high frequency, which is binary options. So we have a platform that's teaching people to become entrepreneurs and multiply their money and master the markets. Right. And the way I tell people, it's basically like you're going back to school. It's all online. So you can get yourself set up online, do it at your leisure. You know, the high frequency, I love it because when people typically think about trading, they automatically think I don't have time to do this. It's just going to take too long. Our high frequency platform, which is binary options, we have people who are making money in minutes. You know, my question to most of you are, do you have 10 minutes? Do you have 5 minutes? Do you have 1 minute? I have a 15-year-old son in my house, and I shared with him, my husband and I, you know, we pretty much forced him, to be quite honest with you, right? Because 15-year-olds, what do they want to do? They want to play video games. So those of you who are parents, your children are playing Minecraft and Fortnite and Roblox and all these video games. Let me tell you something, you better get them understanding these markets. And we gave him a task. We said, if you want to play those games, give us at least 20 minutes, 30 minutes in the academy so you can learn how to multiply your money. And we got him trading in the high frequency market. Can I tell you, my 15-year-old, I've seen him make $27 in 1 minute, multiple times in 1 minute. Now, I know for some folks here, you might be thinking, well, that's not a whole lot of money, but I want you to just do an analysis. Take whatever you make on an hourly basis and divide that by 60 minutes and tell me how much you make a minute. Because if it's not $27, you might want to pay attention to what it is that we're sharing here. So right now, our biggest problem is my son, he doesn't want to go to school. He's high school. He's like, well, why do I need to go to school when I'm going to be making more money than my teachers? I'm like, you're not going to school or even college to do what I was taught. Go to school, get a good education so you can get a good job. You're going to school so you can connect with the people that will eventually work for you in your Fortune 500 company. See, that's a different philosophy. That's a different mindset, right? So he's not going just to get a degree to go work for somebody. As a matter of fact, he's psychologically unemployable because how do you now transition a child who has made $27 a minute at 15 to when he's 18, 19, 20, and they tell him, oh, we're going to pay you $30 an hour for this task. It doesn't register in his brain because he's like, but I was making $27 at 15. And obviously by the time he's 17, 18, he's going to be making thousands of dollars in minutes if he masters what it is that we're teaching him, right? So we're shifting the paradigm of how we've been taught and how we've been, you know, looking at money and how we earn our money. Totally different, right? And so our academy is teaching people how to do that. We have live mentorship. So you're here learning, but you're not doing it by yourself. We have scheduled classes that are designed around your schedule because I can guarantee you everybody on here probably has a different time schedule. We have different tools to help you. You know, if you're looking at this chart right here, I have a 60-year-old lady on our team that works with us, my husband and I. My husband, you know, he has a group called the baby boomers, right? They're all between the ages, well, I'm not a baby boomer, I'm 21, so I don't fall into that category. But they, you know, they actually are what, ages?
Baby boomers.
Okay.
I don't want to put the age out there. You hear she tried to put me on the spot, but just to put it lightly, and I'm not sharing my age, shy of sharing my age, I'll be 61 in another couple of days. So I think I look real good for that. And everybody's earning money on a complete different level, just using the platform and all the tools that we have here on the screen. We have the harmonic scanner. One of the young ladies that my wife was referring to, my wife shared this opportunity to her and she said, this thing looked like a heart monitor. I don't think I could do it. My wife is not someone you tell no to. She's going to come at you until you decide you're going to do it. Today, I could tell you that young lady applying this earn more money before breakfast than some of us earn in a week time.
Yeah.
Just using this platform.
Beautiful.
Absolutely. And that's the power of it. It doesn't matter what age group you are. We have millennials who are doing this. You know, right now there's a movement within the HBC colleges where, you know, these kids, I mean, they're not going and working for the $20 an hour when they have a skill set now in the largest financial market on the planet that they can design and write the checks for themselves. And then we have baby boomers, like Jeff just said, who are no longer looking for a retirement because they're making the decision that this is the money that I need to retire. I'm just going to learn this skill. So it doesn't matter. We have all these tools that can help you to learn how to read the markets. And the beautiful thing about it is you go at your own pace, right? We also have where you can do it on your phone. So I know all of us on here probably has one of these devices, right? The reality of it is, how are we using our devices? Everybody's on social media, looking at Facebook. As a matter of fact, some of you might be right now watching this on Facebook. But my question is, are you using your phone to actually make money? These devices are apps that we actually download to our phones, and they send you push notifications that basically gives you an alert. And a lot of the folks, what they're doing is they're just copying and pasting the information, Alberta. So even though it's not teaching you with these apps, the main thing that happens is when you recognize that you just probably made, even if it was $5 in 1 minute, listen, you could have $100,000 in the bank. They're not giving you $5 a month interest on that. They're not. So if you can do that by just copying and pasting information from your cell phone, what happens is now your brain says, well, wait a minute, how did that just happen? I need to learn the skill set so that I can now do that. So we encourage people, start there, go take these trades that they're sending you, see that it works, and then you can put more time into learning the strategies that are associated in order for you to become an efficient, effective trader, right? And, the beautiful thing about what we have is we've actually just added a second arm. I heard earlier, the gentleman who introduced you, he was sharing about, our network and the whole Amazon space. We actually just added an e-commerce space to this as well. And you know why we did that? Because we recognize that people are going to be on the e-commerce space one way or another. They're either going to be a consumer or they're going to be an actual person who owns a store. We have a whole academy as well, because our goal is to create entrepreneurs with multiple streams of income. He hit the nose on the head. He said that the average person, millionaire, has a minimum of 7 streams of passive residual income. Well, the e-commerce space is one of those passive residual incomes. Our platform allows you to have a store just like Amazon. However, we use the drop shipping method. And in the drop shipping method, what we do is we actually allow individuals to have their stores set up. The platform actually shares with you how to set up the stores, how to find your customers, how to find your products. We don't house the product. We don't ship the product. We don't do the inventory. We have a whole entire academy that teaches individuals how to do that with the Shopify platform. So if you think about what I just talked about, we have 4 different arms where you can actually start creating income and be your own boss, right? And we love the fact because in here, we have, again, educators and mentors that's going to show you how to get the traffic to your stores. It's not us asking our friends or family to buy from us. What we do is we actually do Facebook and Instagram ads. I'm sure all of you on here, if you scroll through your Facebook feed right now, you'll see a bunch of different ads pop up. What are they trying to do? They're trying to get you to come to their store to purchase something. We have the same platform where we're showing people how to do that. And I can tell you, for you to open up an Amazon store, it costs you about $25,000. We're showing people how to do this for a fraction of that. And you have ongoing mentorship at your leisure every single day if you choose to continue to get your store up and running. Because here's the reality. I have an e-commerce store before I was part of this platform. And it doesn't matter that I had a nice store. It doesn't matter that I had nice products. If I don't find out how to drive the traffic to my store, it doesn't matter. It's like having a brick and mortar store in the back of, a parking lot. You can have the best product in there, but if no traffic's coming in the store, you don't make any money. So we teach you how to do that, which is one of the main things that people struggle with, is even though they want to be in an e-commerce space, they're like, well, how do I get the people to come and buy from my online store? Just yesterday, we were having an event with a gentleman, and he was showing how he's already halfway through the month, and he doesn't own the product. He doesn't have the store set up. He just runs ads, and he was already $15,000 already for the month in profit. In profit, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm just asking you, would an extra $15,000 from a passive residual income base do something for your household? I think it probably would. Right? So we love the fact that, we can share this information with so many individuals because, like I said, had somebody not given us access, and like I said, the gentleman who shared it with us was already very wealthy. If he had not given us access to this information, Alberta, our life will look completely different today. And not only us, but the people that are connected to us as well. And you guys, let me say this. People are probably wondering, how do I get started? How do I get this information? Well, Alberta, she's partnered with us. She understands the platform. My husband works with a lot of the guys, a lot of the males. We have so many initiatives that we've seen, men who have been struggling, coming out of situations where they can't get jobs. And he's used this as a platform to show them you don't have to rely on anybody to actually make income. So you can find out, she'll give you some information on how you can join us on this journey. We're in 120 countries with this platform. My husband and I personally have people we are mentoring in 17 of those countries all across the world. And it's just exciting because we recognize that 2020 has forced people to pivot, to look at things from a different perspective. And what you thought was going to work may not have worked, but now doors of opportunity are being flung open, and you've got to make a decision to walk through those doors to help your family.
You're absolutely right, Andrew. That was powerful. That was absolutely powerful. So you literally shared, what was it, 4 streams of income?
4
streams of income. And one of the things that was so powerful to me when I originally looked at the company is because I saw so many young men, people of colors. They still had their tattoos, they had their hats on backwards. And these guys were living on, what was it, Millionaire Row in Miami. I've listened to their presentations and I'm like, it totally impressed me, because my goal is to change the future for our people, the mindset that you have to follow a path that's already made for you. No, you don't. No, you don't. Right. And that in itself literally drove me. So what it did for me, it made me look in the door. Let me see what's going on in here. And when I looked at it, I was literally floored, because everything you needed was there.
Yeah.
And when I looked at the educational platform, I've been doing real estate, you name it, I've done it. I know what a good training platform looked like. And I was like, oh my God, this is designed for success. So I tried it. I wanted to know, can I learn currency exchanging with no one teaching me but that platform?
Right.
No one teaching me. And within 3 weeks, I was training. I had never seen it before. And I went in there because I'm one of these people. I have to know that I know. No one taught me anything. I looked at the platform itself because it was so meticulously put together to learn it. Now you take that and couple it with someone that's actually teaching you. Oh my God. And I love it. I love it. I've made the dollars. I just love the whole idea of it, because I'm one of those that like to challenge myself to victory. Some of us never grow out of being that 2 years old. I can do it myself. So I would always look at it and I went, oh my God, this is so awesome. But the fact that it could change the lives of young men that the system told that there was no way for them. That impressed me. That impressed me. I looked at the conferences. I saw them with their tennis shoes, their jeans on, their tattoos on, and they were walking across the stage. Well, these were the trainers on top of that. So I was just totally impressed. And I say today, go to my website. Entrepreneurs by Design is entrepreneurs-bydesign.com. You'll see trading up there. You can click on trading. You'll see yours truly with photos of a master trader. And just click join and you can literally join today and start learning how to trade. And my goal is anyone that really needs me to just take you by the hand and show you how this is done. Hey, I'm there. I'm there. But I love it. 24 hours a day, they're teaching you. There was one young man, all he did was follow the educators. And his bank account is just growing and growing and growing and growing. We never did say that he knew anything. All he knew is, I need to do what this guy is telling me. And it's changing his life.
Absolutely.
It's changing his life. Jeff, if you have anything to say to these young men out here today?
Well, I can tell you, you know, when I hear the stories like that, you know, you speak briefly on it. We had a platform years ago with just for young men, you know, that coming out of the prison, just were incarcerated, and, you know, society deemed them that they can't get employment. And we partnered with some of them using this platform. They got involved in it, and today, just using the platform, they're able to provide for their family, just using this platform. And there's also the other side to it. I don't know if my wife wants to speak on it, but there's also another side, just not from the trading, because we talk about 4 streams of income, but there's also a 5th one, just by sharing the opportunity. And that is all what some of them did. They start sharing the opportunity while learning the skill of trading. And just sharing that opportunity has created a significant residual income for several people.
Yeah.
Just
Well,
by
Angela,
sharing.
you got to tell us.
Well, yeah, that second side, you know, although it is optional, Alberta, I think it's necessary right now, because we're in a time and a season where people, again, are searching. They're looking for ways to make money from home. And that side, like I said, is optional, where what we did was we took advantage of that, which is another stream of the residual networking side. And basically the company says, we'll pay you for sharing the information. And we have literally seen individuals, like Jeff said, you know, become millionaires just on that side. The one gentleman that we were sharing took the platform to the HBC colleges. And today he earns about almost $1 million every single month just from sharing using his social media platform. And, you know, the thing that I love about what they've done is, you know, some people, they can't wrap their head around, oh, you know, you're making $100,000 a month or 200 or $1 million. Is that real? It's not even about the money. It's what they're doing with the money. They're taking the money and they're cycling it back in our communities. You know, I was just listening to a gentleman, one of our leaders yesterday, who's doing this as well. And he was sharing these statistics. And I want to read this to you. He said that when we look at the dollar, he said in the Asian community, the dollar circulates 28 days within the Asian community. In the Caucasian community, it circulates 19 days. In the Jewish community, it circulates 17 days. In the Hispanic community, it circulates 13 days. But in the African American community, it circulates 6 hours. Wow. 6 hours. Wow. And our goal is to change that. Our goal is that if we're going to share this information and we're going to make all this money, let's keep circulating that money within our communities. Let's start putting scholarships together. Let's start opening up business. Let's start buying the block. But we've got to have the funds and the income to do that. And so this second side, what it does is it allows people to make money right away from a home-based business, take that money and use it to trade with, keep flipping that, and go out and put it back into our communities. So I do encourage people to do that side. Now, you got to have a heart for people to do it. See, Alberta, you have a heart to help people. That's why you're doing this side. But not everybody wants to help everybody, right? I don't know why, but that's just what it is. So if you do have a heart to help people, there are people, like I said, who are doing phenomenal from this side of the perspective, just by helping people. And there's a saying, if you help people get what they want, you will always get what you want. If you help people get what they want, you will always get what you want. So many times we're so concerned about us, and there's nothing wrong with you getting, you know, monies and having things for yourself and your family. But I could tell you this: I've never met a person that have told me that they have not done that their purpose has not been tied to people. Why? Because anything you do, when you help people in the process, it makes you feel better about who you are and what you're doing. So it's just another way for us to really impact people. You become an influencer because you impact people's lives. And just by us opening our mouth, being on a program like this, it doesn't matter for Jeff and I, it could be one person, Alberta. If they get this information and they can come back and give you a testimony that it has transformed their lives, then we would have done our jobs. Then we would have done our job. And I know you got 150,000 people probably, connected to this platform. Doesn't matter. We're looking for that one person. That was
one person.
Yeah, that was like my husband and I, that our life was able to be impacted because they shared it with us.
Wow, that's beautiful. And what I'm hearing also, because of they can make money, now you're talking about changing communities.
Oh, yeah.
Not just one person, the whole community. Now you have a community of business owners that live around the corner.
Right.
So it's a beautiful thing because it takes money to really help people. It takes money.
Yeah.
To really help them. And I just love the opportunity, the e-commerce that they started. I watched that initial presentation, and because I was anticipating it, I was like, I gotta see this. I have to see this because I love the concept. I love the idea of it, but I never could really get into it because I didn't have the time in my mind. And when I went and looked at it, I was like, oh, okay. But I knew that I was going to make a way that it would be very easy for me to make money in that area. Mm-hmm. And that is what Entrepreneurs by Design is all about, bringing opportunities to this platform where somebody see it and say, that's for me. Right. That's for me. Or they see it and say, I didn't even know I had an opportunity that wasn't going to take hundreds of thousands of dollars, $50,000, $10,000, even $1,000, even $500. Where do you go to get in business for a few $100s? No. You and I, we've been around in business a long time. And you really had to go get some money. Yeah. Because back in the day, everything was brick and mortar. Right. You had to open shop. Yeah. So now we're in a time of change that, like you say, you sit home and you're doing business. We're doing business now. Yeah. So I'm excited. I'm glad that you open your arms and you open your hearts. And you came on today, not just to tell us about it, but to actually launch us, because you're the beginning, the start. And when you start in excellence, where else do you have to go? Right. Where else do you have to go? So I salute you. I really appreciate you all and all that you've shared. Jeff, are there anything else you want to bring? Because my heart is our young Black men. Young at my age is anybody 50 and under, just so that they know. So we're not talking 23, we ain't talking 25, we ain't talking 30.
Well, I can speak on that too, because I would say young to me is anybody under 60. It's a great platform. I think just based on what we've seen take place in the last 5 years, the amount of lives that was impacted in not just women's standpoint, just the young men that are taking it and really running with it and giving them a platform that's legit to go out and do something positive with their life and impact the world. I just read a post about two of the young men that is in organization, the amount of money that they sold and donated for scholarship to the historically Black colleges. Yeah. I think that platform was so powerful, and it just shared the light of what's really taking place with this company, the platform that they provided for us, mainly for Black men that's doing it. There's all different demographic, all different types of people, but I'm just speaking just on what's taking place within the Black community and how it brings, because we always have something they say it's negative, but we've seen what's taking place that is so positive within the community, where Black people, Black men, young men are doing something real positive with their lives and changing lives. Matter of fact, giving back to the community, giving back to the colleges that they went to, letting those people that are in college now, letting them know that it is possible There's something out there outside of just being on the street. There are people out there, entrepreneurs that are making money. And you're not just an athlete, you're not just a rapper. You're out there being an entrepreneur, doing something and changing lives.
Yeah. And Alberta, you know, I just want to say what we are doing here, what we're witnessing, this is not normal, but we're normalizing it, right? It's not normal. And so why are people kind of looking from the side? Because they've never seen this, like Jeff said. We've typically seen that those individuals that look like us, that do make, you know, $1 million a month or a week or a day, they typically fall into a certain category. But we're normalizing that now because of this platform. When you look up, the question has to be, are you a trader? Do you trade in the foreign exchange market, that you can drive a Rolls Royce, that you can live in this neighborhood? No longer are you an athlete, or are you a rapper, or you know, in the entertainment field. We're literally normalizing that. So now it's been shifting, and we're seeing the shift take place, and we're excited that we get to be a part of that movement as well. So we invite all your guests on here, all the people who have been watching you, to get connected. I see on your Facebook page, people are asking how can they connect. You may want to drop your link in there as well. But guys, it's happening all across the globe, and you want to make sure that you connect to the information. I'll leave you with this. My mentor said this to my husband and I years ago. He said, Jeff and Angela, you don't have to do what I do. He was already, like I said, very wealthy. He said, but I could tell you this: if you continue to hang around and be in an environment of 4 broken people, there will be a 6th one. He said, well, come over here and I put you in an environment of 4 people who are winning, who are thinking from a different level, and I promise you there'll be a 6th one. And guys, we took the latter invitation, and our whole entire financial blueprint has changed, not just for us, but for our children as well. So Alberta, we thank you so much for doing this, for, you know, opening up your platform, and really even having the vision to have, you know, entrepreneurs understand that they can be it. You know, when I think about the book that I read, where you buy one, you get 66 free. Some of you know which one I'm talking about, right? In that book, if you study it, there was only 2 classes of people that ever worked a job. It was slaves and soldiers. Everybody else was an entrepreneur. They sold something or they built something. And so it is our birthright to be entrepreneurs. But if we don't know how to tap in and how to connect with people who can give us the access, then guess what? We think it's normal to be employees. So thank you again for inviting us, for having us. And we look forward to working with those individuals who want to partner with this platform.
Thank you. Thank you. And I want to say to those that are requesting the information, we will be posting that information for you, so you can join us on this journey, because there's always room at the top. I thank you so much.
And there's an event in Tampa. I think you have a lot of people in Tampa. There's an event taking place.
Yes, right.
Tomorrow, I believe it is, in the Tampa Bay area. So I know it's a ticket event where they're going to actually be there sharing the whole, you know, kit and caboodle about what we just shared in more detail. So certainly if anybody wants that, they can get with Alberta, and she can get you guys connected to go to that event in the Tampa Bay area. Yeah. And also we have one in Fort Lauderdale, Miramar area tomorrow as well, both at 7 p.m. tomorrow night. So just connect with us and we can get you connected to that as well. Hotel Alba, I believe it's in Tampa.
Yes. And we thank you all for joining us on today. We will be back on next week, 4 p.m., Entrepreneurs by Design, Eastern Standard Time. So join us again, and we thank our guests so much. Have a good day.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, all across the globe, you just heard a powerful program today with Miss Alberta McKinney and her special guest today. This is Entrepreneurs by Design. Go to entrepreneurs-bydesign.com. Once again, entrepreneurs-bydesign.com. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time on the network. God bless you.